so excited.
It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Playoff preview time continues right here. It's Two Guys and a Goalie, brought to you by Sandman and the crew at GS Construction. They are hiring right now. If you're looking for work or like you have to work out of town, you're like, man, I'd rather work in town. I'd rather be around my family. GS Construction, they are hiring right now. In fact, I was behind one of their dump trucks on the way into work today. I raced it. I pretended I was in a big truck and I raced it along beside it, and I got in front of them and turned into work. Setting the industry standard for 50 years with quality, efficiency, safety, driving their success, GS Construction has a foundation built on teamwork, and now they want you to become a part of the team. Visit www.gsconstruction.ca and click Ready to Work, or visit their page at Indeed.ca. And with the Next Step Person program at GS Construction, it's not just a job, it is a career. I definitely have the worst shirt on the show today. Did you and Kass text each other and be like, hey, let's wear really busy shirts?
I think, I don't know if it was before or after, but I think I saw Kass wearing this shirt at a charity event, or I might have purchased it and hadn't worn it yet. And then I saw Kass wearing it, and then I couldn't wait to go put it on.
No way.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah, do you have a date today or something? Like, you look terrific.
No, I'm just, sometimes you just got to get out there, Dusty. Show everyone what they can't have.
I'm wearing my that's my mindset. I'm wearing my Larry Thompson, They See Me Rolling t-shirt from the Elk store. Kass, whose shirt do you like more, mine or Gager's?
Gager's. Sorry, bud.
Yeah, I thought you're a football fan. Are you a CFL fan?
I'm a
This is
football
great
fan,
shirt.
but flowers got to stick together. Floral spring patterns. It's going to be warm outside tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be nice tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's going to be really nice. Did you hear my Tommy controversy? The poutine stealer?
Yeah, I got the gist of it.
You got the gist of it?
I had to take the dog out, but
they got into it on the Hangout for a good time.
They?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Kass, just quickly, I mean, they got into it way too deep. So we got this poutine yesterday at Boston Pizza. It was the new poutine. And Tommy was eating it when we were on the air for a bit. And then when we finished off the air, I had a couple bites on like the other side of the plate. And it was like a long plate. And then Tommy had like a wing plate, size plate. And he goes, hey, I'm just going to take like half this poutine on here and then you can have the rest. And I said, okay, perfect. Then I went around and I visited Jay and Jocelyn and stuff. Took some food over to Big Yukon, the guys. Come back around to have the poutine. It's gone. Tommy ate the poutine that he left on the plate for me. And he's trying to justify it today, but how do you leave poutine on a plate for somebody say, it's your poutine, and then when I come back to have my poutine, Tommy's already eaten it. What do you think about this?
Yeah, that's a little shady. It's a little shady. Now, like, how clear was he beforehand? Like,
he said, I'm going to take this. That's for you. And I said, okay.
Yeah, that's greasy. I don't like it. I don't like it, Tommy. I don't like it.
Tommy's at the center of most food controversies
really
around here. Like, it's...
List them off. Tried to kill Reed with a cookie. The Buffet Bandit at the charity event. This one. Was he to blame? Who took the potato chip heat plate? Who was that?
Oh, he was on the outskirts because of prior history. But Jerkygate, right?
Jerkygate too.
Yeah, like he laid out the jerky. Here you go. He
did.
He treats like Tommy's the type of guy that would come to your house, go into your fridge, and give it to one of your guests like it's his.
That's a good point. That's a good way to look at it.
It is.
Like he'd come over to my house with somebody else and walk in and grab a beer and like throw one to whoever he brought over.
Yeah, I'd be making myself a burger. And then if I stepped away for 2 seconds, Tommy would get it, put it on a plate, and present it to someone else at the house.
He's a food. What would we call that guy? He's like taking claim for somebody else's work. He's like a sidler.
Yeah. Isn't there that guy from Elaine in Seinfeld where he always takes credit for work someone else does and just shows up at that point?
Shows up at the time.
Great job. Yeah.
Anyway, I thought it was kind of unacceptable, but I'll get him back. He's going to be, so here's our layout. Boston Pizza, Westgate, game 1. If you're just joining us, we do have the Oilers schedule. They'll be starting Monday. Let me lay this out for you. We'll go through it here and lay out the locations of where Tommy's going to be stealing food from other people's plates. Tom Gazzola, game 1, Monday night. He will be at the Westgate Boston Pizza. Tony and the crew. You could even, if you don't want to jinx it, you could even bring your clubs and hit that golf simulator they've got in there. That'll be an 8 o'clock Edmonton time start, supposedly. Game 2 will be Wednesday, 8 o'clock our time. He'll be at Hudson's at West Edmonton Mall. Had a lot of fun during the run there last year. Friday and Sunday, so it's a Friday and then Sunday, 2 home games. He'll be at the Canadian Ice House right across from the rink for the home games during the playoffs. Game 5, if necessary, will be on Tuesday, April 29th. And that day he will be at Hudson's on White. And then obviously game 6, Thursday, May 1st. And then he'll be at the Ice House because that's a home game. And then to be determined still will be game 7. That'll be Saturday, May 3rd. Kass, what do you think of the Oil getting an extra day here? We thought maybe they play on Sunday. They get on Monday for a team that may or may not be healthy, depending on who you talk to or listen to around the team. Do you mind not starting? You like starting on Monday?
I like the later they start, the better.
Yeah.
The later they start, the better. I mean, you got a bunch of guys coming back from injury. The later you start, the better. That extra day could be the difference. It could be the difference in Frederick or not. Maybe. I mean, who knows? It could be. Yep. In game 1. And it could be the difference of, do you rush a guy back even a day? Yes, a day makes a difference. A day too early. So it benefits the Oilers, I believe, the extra time here from a team. And I know Connor is all his rah-rah about they're not the walking wounded, but they are the walking wounded. Even if they're recovering walking wounded, they are recovering. And that extra day to me is huge. Huge for practice time to get those guys back into it. Like if you get an extra day where you can actually get those guys on the ice to practice too, I think that's just positive. So a huge, maybe huge is the wrong word, but definitely a boon for the Edmonton Oilers, in my opinion.
Definitely helps.
Can't hurt.
Definitely helps, man.
Yeah.
I mean, for, in past, I was thinking about this on my dog walk. This is when I think about these things.
How long is your dog walk?
The first one, it depends if I have time. I like to go to the dog park for that one.
Okay.
That's a good 45, 50-minute hike. And then around the mean streets of Terwilliger, it's probably good 35 to 40.
That's a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of thinking at that time.
No earbuds, no music, just me and the pooch.
Really?
Yeah, we connect.
Wow, that's interesting. It would be kind of disrespectful to him if you had headphones.
Yeah. No, he looks at me. He wonders what's going on. But in years past, I was thinking that we got to wait till Monday for a game. We got to wait till any time that there's an extra day in between games for the Edmonton Oilers, I think helps them more so than in years past.
Like no matter what, take the extra.
Look, I mean, they're a veteran team. They've all, they're acting like they've been there before already with some of the stuff they've said the last part of the season here. They just want to get to the games that matter. I think it's great. Just like Kass said, I think it benefits this team. I'll say it tremendously. The more time they get in between games.
You guys are very confident in what you're saying today because of the shirts that you're in, I think.
Maybe.
Like you're looking jacked, Gager. Your shoulders look jacked in that shirt.
I did some push-ups before I got here.
All right, you can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. We'll get to a few of those text messages as we work our way through the show. If you're watching over on YouTube, hit us up in the comments section. Hammer the thumbs up for us. That would be great. And shout out to Brendan. He's on his final day of practicum. He made a kick-ass thumbnail today.
He did.
Like Skinner pops off that thumbnail, like significantly. So actually, let's just go there to Skinner. We're going to try to hit all of the series, but obviously we're going to spend some more time on the Oilers and the Kings. So Skinner's come back. He's played 2 games. Had the shutout last night. Wasn't super busy, but I thought he made some nice saves last night. Gager, what have you thought of him since he hasn't been busy really in either game, but what have you thought of him since he returned?
2 games, not, like you said, not busy, but in a sense, I could see them be a little bit of a confidence builder for him. Before he got injured, the games up to that point after the break weren't Stuart Skinner-esque, where even I questioned who would start the first game of the playoffs here. So I think what he's been able to do in these last 2 games, although, again, not a lot of things, but he made some good saves. I saw some good saves last night, but I think it's just put the questions to bed for the coaching staff of who they're going to start. And then they have a guy that's, it's kind of a perfect situation. You got your number 1 guy, has had 2 good games. He's restored some confidence in himself, in the coaching staff. And you've got your second guy who's not in the situation where he hasn't played in 2 months. Like he's fresh too. So Oilers have a quite a good advantage going into the playoffs where both guys seem ready.
Kass, what are your expectations for Skinner this time around? Did Kass freeze? Looks like Kass froze in a really weird position, too.
Awkward position.
We're gonna bring him back. Gage, so at this point with Skinner, I guess we'll just continue the Skinner conversation with you here. Can he do what he did in last year's playoffs?
Oh yeah.
Again, like it's not like he was lights out during the regular season last. Like he had a good season he had a better regular season last year than he did this year. But does that change the way of what you think he might be able to accomplish in the playoffs this year?
No, because I think when you get into this type of situation, he is more than capable of going on a run for 2 months. He's good enough to do that at a very high level. Now, sustaining that level over the course of a regular season is different, right? There's going to be a little bit of peaks and valleys, and I've said it. I think you might. There's a good chance you'll see both goalies in this series anyway. It's not going to be Stuart Skinner all the way through. Pickard's going to have to come in at some point, I think. But no, he's restored a little bit more confidence in me just by these last 2 games. The body language has been way better. Obviously, he gets a shutout, so it looks really good. But that's got to feel good. I know it's against the Sharks, but whenever you don't allow a goal, your confidence is beaming at that next opportunity, and recency bias playing against a team that you've had success against. He's got to feel pretty good for game 1.
Brendan Kass texted me, said he had his internet die. He's just doing a quick reset, and then he will be back. So we'll keep tabs on that. Okay, what about Darcy? So Darcy Kuemper's had a great year.
Yeah,
the Kings are about 4 wins better than they were last year. I looked at it in this stretch of head-to-heads. The Kings were a 44-win team, a 46-win team, a 44-win team, and right now they're a 48-win team. They do play tonight. So we'll see what happens in that game. So they could be a 49-win team. But they both have 48 wins right now. The Oilers and Kings both have 48 wins. The Kings have home ice because they got some more loser points than the Oilers. So is Darcy Kuemper that 4-win difference? Is that because the rest of the team, like that's a lot of the same guys we've seen here. Fogel's on the other side now. He wasn't before. For the most part, this core really hasn't changed outside of Darcy Kuemper, right?
I think, I think you have to say it's Kuemper because one of their main pillars on defense they didn't have for the majority of the season with Drew Doughty, right? So, yeah, I think a lot of the success of the Kings, it's finally, because when you look at it over the past 2 seasons, you had 2 years ago, they got Korpisalo late, kind of solidified it. Last year, you had Cam Talbot have he had an all-star type season up to the all-star game, and then kind of petered out the last few months of the season. But Darcy Kuemper has finally given the LA Kings solid goaltending over the course of the whole season, and having that is, I think, very. It builds the confidence of your decor too. They don't have to change their style of play because they feel that their goalie isn't there for them, right? He's made some, when you've watched him, he makes difficult saves look quite routine. The only thing, and Kass would know more about this probably because he's familiar with Kemper, but the one thing I would worry about with Kemper is his durability, right? And you're playing not every second night here, but
close
too.
Yeah, close.
And so against the same team, he has been prone to injury before. It was a poke in the eye last time, but maybe there's a way that they can kind of wear him down a little bit more and look to get Big Save Dave in there.
All right, Kass, what do you think about Kemper?
I think he's an improvement for them. He's a goalie that has won in the playoffs, won a Stanley Cup, and he won it by just being good. He wasn't great with the Colorado Avalanche. He was just good. And I think that's what you're up against with him. He does add some more consistency to it. From a career standpoint, pretty good year this year from a save percentage. I don't think his best ever. I think, some of his shorter seasons,
his earlier years when he wasn't playing
Arizona,
as much,
where he wasn't playing as much. But I don't know. I don't know if I have a question about his durability. I mean, he only played 50 games this year, right? Like it wasn't like he was overwhelmed. And so maybe a little bit. I think the big thing as a whole for the Edmonton Oilers is just not even Kemper. It's like, I'm not worried about Kemper stealing a series. Maybe I'll just leave it at that. I'm not worried about him stealing a series, but he's not going to lose you a series if you're the LA Kings. Like goaltending in this series is not going to be the reason that you lose. And that could create some challenges for Edmonton, especially if LA does what they did for a lot of the year in terms of just keeping teams to the outside and being really disciplined defensively. It could create some problems for Edmonton, but I'm not like freaking out here. And I missed it because everything froze and I had to reset my internet, but I'm assuming you guys talked about how Stuart Skinner is the clear-cut number one, correct? And so if we're doing matchups, for me, it's a slight edge to Darcy Kemper in that matchup. I don't know if that's what you guys were doing or saying. Slight edge. Yeah. Not like massive.
I mean, I would say bigger than slight.
But here's the thing. I mean,
he's going to be nominated for a Vezina and has won a cup before.
If you switched Stuart Skinner and Darcy Kemper,
Oilers in 5.
No, I was going to say no.
Yes.
If you switch the two, like you'd probably say Oilers in 5 anyways. But I would argue that Stuart Skinner's save percentage and his you'd be having the same discussion on the flip side.
You think Skinner would have a 9.22 and be nominated for the Vezina in LA?
Yep.
Why weren't any of their other goalies in the last 3 years?
Because their other goalies weren't playing at that level. And I'm just saying, I think Skinner would. Yeah, I'm saying.
Look, Kass,
Skinner would. We also have to remember, LA switched this year, guys, from that horrible 1-3-1, and that's been a huge boon to them. And I think it helped them defensively as well.
Gage, if we're doing check marks here, what do you do with between the pipes?
Oh, I give it to LA. Because of what you just said, Kass. You said that Darcy Kemper he's not going to win you a series, but he's not going to lose you a series. I think the gap is why it's a little wider with Stuart Skinner, where I think he can, just on his play this year, I think he can lose you a series. There's been over this year, he's allowed some suspect goals, and they're going to happen. But the key save at the key time is what we've been preaching for over the last 5-6 months. That hasn't been consistent enough with Stuart Skinner, I think, and so that's why I give the edge to the LA Kings, where Kemper seems to be a little bit more dialed in when the games are on the line than we've seen from Stuart Skinner this year. The year prior, no, it's completely different, but I have to look at this year.
Okay, let's go blue line. Kass, when you look at the two blue lines, where's the edge go in this series?
I mean, is this even a question? Do we have to discuss this? The LA Kings. How can you not have the LA Kings as the check mark for this?
Well, what if I guess Ekholm's not healthy, but I was going to say, if Ekholm was healthy, would the Oilers get the check mark? I'm just trying to think how much it swung it.
No, I don't think so. I think it would be.
I think I'd give
really
him a check mark
close. You think you'd give him a check mark?
If Ekholm was healthy, my check mark would 100% be on the Edmonton Oilers blue line. Nurse has been better this year. Bouchard is better offensively than anything the Kings have, and Ekholm, when healthy, is a stud. Like I would have, and Kulak's had a great year. Like right now, I mean, the Kings blue line, yeah, you have Drew Doughty, Doughty and Anderson have been kind of looked after down the stretch here. So you got Doughty and Mikey Anderson. I'm not sure what the deal is with Edmondson. And then Gavrikov, Jordan Spence, and Brent Clark, I guess, would be their six. I mean, that's a good blue line, but I don't think it's a blue line that Oilers forwards need to be worried about getting past. Am I wrong? Am I maybe selling these guys a bit short? I might be.
Yeah, I think they're good, man. Well, tonight, they play tonight. So Doughty, Anderson, and Edmondson are out. Yeah. Gavrikov, Spence, Clark. Not Caleb Jones. If he's in, that's good. But I give them the edge now.
Yeah.
But I do think they do have to worry about these guys. Just because, and this is looking at the last game, they make it very difficult to get to the center of the ice, right? There's a lot of battling that we haven't seen from the Oilers, again, on a consistent basis to where they have to go to score goals. Definitely I give them the check mark, but I do think that the Oilers forwards have to worry about this decor.
Okay, so we're check mark Kings and goaltending. We're check marking without Ekholm. Kings on blue line. Kass, I would assume the check mark up front is going to the Oilers, but how significant of an advantage do they have up there?
I think in that regard, they have a pretty significant advantage. Like in Kopitar is really good. Byfield has been really good this year. Fogle has played really well. Fiala has played really well. Like they've had guys that have stepped up. Kempe as well. But you just cannot give someone else a check mark when you have McDavid and Draisaitl. And if everyone comes back healthy, Frederick is back, Nuge is back, Hyman's back, and potentially Kane is back. Like when you have all your guys, I think you have more depth. Yeah, I think you got him there. And McDavid and Draisaitl at the core of that. Two best players in the world. So
tips the scales, right? They can't match. I mean, Kempe, who comes close to those two?
Kempe's great, but nobody comes close to the McDavid and Draisaitl.
Yeah, mean, Kopitar 10 years ago, maybe is but you can't do that. Fiala's good. No, you with those two guys, I put them up against any other forward line, and it's very difficult unless you're talking maybe Avs, right? Or you just can't match up with those two beasts up at forward.
All right, let's continue with the conversation. Okay, so I said this morning, I'm taking the Oilers. I'm saying Oilers in 6. I think they get it done at home in Game 6. Gager, what are you doing? I know you're pretty high on the Kings the last little while around the office.
Yeah, I've wavered a little bit. Maddie and I were going through the lineup that you could put out for the Oilers, and if it works, that's going to give fits to the Kings. Like they can match up quite well, but just what you're going to get, and this past depth scoring from the Oilers, maybe that's changed my view a little bit. But I just think the loss of Ekholm is so big. I give the Kings a slight edge.
So Kings in 7?
Kings in 7.
Okay. Kass, you're going to make the final determination here, buddy. Who are you going with?
Yeah. I'm going Oilers in 7. Oilers in 7. I think it's going to be tight.
We got to get at least 2 or 3 rounds out of the new playoff song. I mean, I'm going to be pissed if they lose in 5. I'm going to be if we only get to play that next week, I'm going to be so mad.
I know. And you'll be blamed.
I will be blamed. This is your stupid song, Nielson. Everybody loved it before. I mean, what's going on here?
Everyone loved it today.
Everyone absolutely loves it right now. And they lose and we're like, oh, Dusty. There's nothing to do with the Ekholm injury. It has to do with
you could get a Grammy for that song.
I thought it was really good. Yeah, it worked out well. So I'm just thinking of like as far as line combinations go, because we were just talking about forwards, and we'll continue on the Oilers and Kings here, and then we'll try to whip through the other series as well. Jack Michaels, voice of the Oilers over on Sportsnet, said projected lines for Game 1. This is purely a guess based on my own speculation, essentially. But he is speculating that you will see McDavid with Brown and Skinner, which we've seen lately. Draisaitl with Arvidsson and Podkolzin. Nuge with Hyman and one of Kane or Frederick, whoever's healthy, ready to go. And Henrique with Perry and Janmark, which is exactly what I kind of laid out on the show yesterday. I just think if you can have Nuge and Hyman with Kane or Frederick, I mean, that could be an insanely effective third line for you against a Kings team that does have 3 pretty good lines. I think it falls off on the fourth line for the Kings, but they got 3 pretty good lines. Kass, what's your sense of belief that you do build something around Nuge on the third line and let McDavid continue to run with a couple of guys who we'll see how it works come playoff time. I mean, we know how Knobloch works the lines. Even if they start it, it might be completely different. Come second period, depending on how it goes. But what would you think of that suggestion?
Yeah, second shift. It could change. Hit the panic button. Yeah, nuclear option.
Hey, if they're down 2-0 after 1, and you're like Draisaitl and McDavid together for Game 1, period 2, it's just like that
could very well happen. I hope that's the lines they run with, because I do like, and we've seen with McDavid and Draisaitl spending some time out, like Nuge has been better. He's been much better recently. Now, that's not to say it will continue, so you have to adjust and be aware, but I would like to see, especially based on the success of that Skinner McDavid Brown line, like I want to see that. I want to see it. And I want to see it for more than a shift or a period. And I want to see if Ryan Nugent-Hopkins can run with that. And to talk about the depth of the Edmonton Oilers, having Nuge in the third line centering that, you could have a little bit of an advantage there. You can have an advantage there, especially on the road where they're trying to get line matchups. Maybe it can help you get a little bit more of a favorable matchup. So I'm all for running it that way. I want to see it because it's been working recently, especially for Connor McDavid since coming back from injury. Where now part of that we have to say, is it just his line mates, or is that just Connor McDavid? Right? Like, is it him coming back from injury and actually having energy and being up tempo and just driving the play like we hadn't seen in a little while? Is it because of him? Or is it because of those other 2 guys and him? And I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because you like what you've seen from it so far. And that's absolutely what I want to run with. And you get a little worried that if you have one period, if that first period is not a great period, that you might try to get away from it. But at the start, I'm really hoping that's what we see.
Who do you think has benefited the most on the Oilers forward group, benefited the most by having, for a short period of time, but Connor and Leon out to just find their game a little bit more?
I have in mind it. Like, I think Adam Henrique's been better lately than.
Yeah.
He's still probably going to be your fourth line center if you run that. I like Connor Brown. I know he's been with McDavid, but even before he was I didn't mind what he's been doing while those guys have been out. Do you have a different, who do you?
Well, I look at that line, like that's kind of that makeshift line put together, and it's found some chemistry. But I think I would have to say Brown has benefited the most just in that role. He looks to be a kind of a different player right now, and Skinner's look good too. Like those 3 guys, like Nuge, Brown, and Skinner, I think have benefited the most over this time where you've seen a little bit less of McDavid. Obviously, Draisaitl's been out, just giving these guys a little bit more responsibility. You look at the contributions offensively from a lot of guys that weren't contributing at all to get their mojo going. Yeah, I think this is, in a weird way, having your big 2 kind of a little bit injured has provided some confidence building opportunities for these 3 guys.
780-218-9999, $99.99 is where you can chime in. A couple of notes. Jesse Puljujarvi has been suspended 2 games for setting the tone in the Panthers Lightning series, which you have to love to see. And Gazzola texts me and says, first of all, total BS on how you described Poutine Gate, which is exactly how it happened. I'm not making anything up, Tommy. It's exactly what happened. You took the food off the plate, and you said, I'm going to take this, Dusty, on this plate, and then you can have that. And I said, okay. I mean, nothing to describe. Secondly, he says the plan was for the Oilers to initially come home when they found out when game 1 would be on Monday. It changed yesterday afternoon, and they decided to stay in San Jose. They will practice tomorrow and Saturday, and then fly to Los Angeles on Saturday after practice. So it'll be Friday practice, Saturday practice, then fly to Los Angeles on Saturday and start to get ready for the game there on Monday. All right, let's get to some of these other series. Let's work our way through the West here first. Winnipeg, St. Louis. Kass, is there an upset brewing from the St. Louis Blues?
No,
I don't think so either.
I mean, the St. Louis Blues, wonderful story for them to get into the playoffs. Fantastic stretch down towards the end of the season, and then a little bit of a hiccup towards the end. They had the big streak of winning games, and then just barely sneak in. And I just, for as good of a story as it is, I just can't see them dealing with the firepower, the depth, and the goaltending that the Winnipeg Jets have. Like, if we're doing check marks across this, you got to give the check mark to Winnipeg for the goaltending. You got to give the check mark to Winnipeg for the defense, and you got to give the check mark to Winnipeg for their forward group.
Yeah, they got like 2 top 14 scores in the league this year.
Yeah, and you're probably giving it to them on the special teams battle as well. So I just, if I'm picking games, I'm saying Winnipeg in 5.
I said Jets in 5 this morning as well.
This all hinges on potential Hart Trophy winner Dylan Holloway and his health, I guess.
They haven't been as good since he got hurt.
I know.
It's kind of strange. What about Gager? Just for you quickly in this one? What about Binnington and Hellebuck?
It's the most interesting goaltending matchup of the first round.
Like a guy who plays above his abilities in the playoffs versus a guy and hustle defend Hully to the grave. But let's be honest, the last 2 playoffs, he might have been hanging out to dry a little bit, but he's got like an .880 or worse save percentage the last 2 playoffs. It's kind of like Bizarro. Recently,
and in the last big meeting between these 2 guys, although it was just 1 game, Binnington won that battle. And there's always when you look down to the other end, you're battling against that other guy save for save, especially in the playoffs. I remember Cujo talking about it. This was the time of year he loved. He loved going save for save against the guy.
He had some good saves in the playoffs.
Oh my gosh, man! So, and we all know what a gamer Binnington's done. Like, who do you give? Do you give the edge to Winnipeg just on? I don't know. I think it's I got to really.
You're talking between the pipes.
Yeah, this is big, man. And Hellebuck hasn't done it. You look at last season. I mean, he rolled against the Oilers years ago, but I don't know. He got out-dueled by. What was it against? Against the Vegas Golden Knights. So Fleury, right? The 1 year
for Hellebuck.
Yeah, just when it matters most. I don't know. I think it's a lot closer. Man, I probably still.
Are you still taking the Jets though?
Oh yeah, Jets.
Okay,
you can't. They don't have Holloway.
You started to. You started to scare me. I was like, is he actually going to take the Blues here?
Yeah, I was like, wait a second here. I think he already said Jets, but...
No, I think the matchup in goaltending is closer than you think. It's going to be watch what happens. If I think the Jets will come out and the shots will probably be 15-1, right? After the first 10 minutes. And if it's 0-0 still, and if somehow the Blues can go and get one and get the lead... That's when it takes the air out of that building and starts putting that seed of doubt, right? So
Kevin Mendoza does bring up an interesting point. He says, guys, just curious, Game 7, who's your goalie, Helly or Binnington?
Binnington.
Tough not to take Binnington in like a Game 7 situation.
Oh, for sure it's Binnington.
All right, Vegas, Minnesota. The Wild were really good to start the year. Then they got banged up. Kaprizov's back. Joel Eriksson-Ek is back. I don't know if health gets Minnesota back on the track that we saw in the first half of the year. Kass, any chance your former club can pull off what I do think would be a pretty significant upset against the Golden Knights?
It would be pretty significant. The health is a big thing for them coming back. I don't see it. I think they push it a little bit. I don't think it's an easy series for the Golden Knights, but I don't see them overcoming. I got to say Golden Knights in 6 for this one.
It's a big forward group against a big D group, right? Like the Boldy, Joel Eriksson-Ek, they got some beef. Foligno, the Rat Hartman, and of course you got Kaprizov, who I don't know. He finished pretty high on best players in the NHL, right?
Yeah, he was like 5th on that list.
So there's a chance there, but I just think I'll go Knights in 6, but there's a chance.
I got Knights in 6 as well, but I did say this morning that I think Minnesota might be one of the livest dogs. Like if they can, like they've been significantly banged up for a long time. And I also I think whoever comes out of the Edmonton Los Angeles series beats Vegas. I think either one of them beat Vegas. I might be totally selling Vegas short. I'm still taking Vegas in 6 here, but I won't be coming in.
I'm with you there, Dusty.
It's just it's a tough Vegas in 6. I think.
Like we were talking to I forget the reporter in Los Angeles a couple of weeks ago with Hernan, and they said they would rather play. The Vegas Golden Knights said, or their reporter said they would rather play the Edmonton Oilers than the Los Angeles Kings.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, then we get this Rantanen revenge series. Jason Robertson left the Dallas arena, left that game last night with a brace, lower body. They won't have Heiskanen to start the series. Dallas has lost 7 in a row to wrap up the regular season, which is interesting as well. I've got Colorado in 6 in this one. I like the veterans they added at the deadline. Obviously, they kind of revamped their entire goaltending situation midway through the year. And you still have Makar and you still have McKinnon. Landeskog started to play again. We'll see how he factors into it. So I think this is almost more of me fading the Dallas Stars right now and taking Colorado in 6. But Kass, who do you like in this one? Which should be a very entertaining series. Kass frozen again?
I don't know.
He's frozen, or he's like.
I thought he was just
very
deep
much.
Thought.
Oh, he moved. Kass, are you there?
It's weird. It's freezing again.
No, you're good now.
You're good now.
I think so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Colorado or Dallas?
Yeah, I'm going Dallas in 7 for this one.
Wow.
Dallas in 7. Yep. I think it's pretty even early on, and I know Dallas limped into it. Playing well, and I love the storylines in this series. Like I love that Rantanen is in Dallas. A big part of it is Ken Heiskanen actually come back and play, and what quality are you going to get? But I love the depth there, and I think ultimately it falls onto Dallas's goaltending. If you get some goaltending in the series, I think you win it. I'm taking Dallas in 7. I think it's going to be a heck of a series. Going to be a pretty fun battle to watch.
Okay, so we are unanimous. Oh no, we're not. You took Dallas. Okay, Gage, did you make a pick yet?
Nope.
Where are you going?
I'm going Avs in 5.
Avs in 5. Ooh, you're not messing around.
No,
drop that hammer, son. Hey,
I think the boost of Landeskog, Makar. They don't have Heiskanen, although that Thomas Harley's unbelievable.
Harley is good.
Oh my gosh, is he good? Now with Robertson out, and I know he can be streaky, but he's such a pure goal scorer. If he's out for any amount of time, I just think this lines up perfectly for the Avs just to feast.
All right, let's slide over to the East. Let's start with the Battle of Ontario. Obviously a big one. I did say on the Lock Shop earlier to a couple of Toronto guys, Jake and Patty, that everything in my body wants the Toronto Maple Leafs to lose this series. But I am going to take the Toronto Maple Leafs in 6 games, but I think it's going to be a hard 6 games. Like I don't see them cruising in 3 games against the Ottawa Senators and kind of just wrapping it up, at their leisure. So Toronto in 6. I would love to see the Sens pull this off. I do think with Allmark, he's capable of doing it. But I'm going to go with Craig Berube in Toronto in 6. Kass, where are you going on this one?
Let Gager go. I'll go next.
Okay.
I'm going to go 7. Leafs in 7.
Leafs in 7 at home, get her done.
Yeah, there's just going to be all attention out east is going to be on this series. I can't wait to see Brady Tkachuk play in some meaningful games and what he's going to do to the stars of the Toronto Maple Leafs and create havoc. But again, I just think the Leafs are a little bit too deep. They'll finally get it done in 7.
2 for the Leafs. What's the former Sen say?
Yeah. So this series reminds me of when we were playing Montreal in 2013, where on paper, the Leafs are a better, deeper team. Now, I think that the Ottawa Senators and Brady Tkachuk in particular are going to be able to play the Toronto Maple Leafs in a manner that they are uncomfortable playing. I'm going Ottawa in 7 games.
On the road in Toronto.
On the road.
The ultimate Matthews-Marner choke game.
All the hearts get broken.
I would love to.
Maybe
I'm reaching to see that.
Maybe I'm reaching with that. But that's like I would be, guys. I'd be so happy. I would be happy as well. It would be hilarious. I would love that. That would be amazing.
They are going to play a different style of game, that the Leafs don't want to play. Right? They want it free flowing and easy going, and the Sens are going to hit everything.
Yep.
Every single time. Like
you are going to. Yeah, you're going to have to fight for every inch in that series.
Yeah, Al Pacino, that bad boy.
I do like somebody earlier in the week, I don't know whatever show it was on, did say, in a series, I take the team that has the Tkachuk.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we'll see. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a great series. I cannot wait to watch that series. The other Canadian team just sneaking in last night, Montreal Canadiens. I do think they kind of run out of some juice here. Everything they get from beyond this point is gravy. Like, they made the playoffs. Pretty young team there still. Washington is big. Washington is tougher. I think they'll be able to physically take the Habs out of this series. I'm going Washington in 5. Montreal gets 1 at home to maybe give themselves some hope. But I'm going to go Caps in 5. Cass, where are you at on this one?
Caps in 4. I think this is the
clean sweep.
Ooh.
Wow.
I think this is the clean sweep. Great story for the Montreal Canadiens finding their way in. I think they get pummeled here, and it's a sweep by the Washington Capitals.
Habs get a win here or 2 games?
Oh, no. I agree with you there. I think what happens, Washington spanks them the first 2 games. They come home, get the emotional lift of Montreal. The Molson Center is going to be unbelievable. Probably a double overtime win. And then Washington just seals the deal the next 2 games. I got them in Caps in 5 too.
All right. Tampa, Florida.
Oh God.
This is the series I probably want to watch the most.
Yeah.
Like, this is the one that I'm very much looking forward to. This will be a must appointment tuning, I guess I should say, for the playoffs. Gage, let's start with you, buddy. Where are you going on this one?
Oof. I mean, historically, the first round is kind of usually the best, the best series of the whole playoffs, and a lot of things go. I don't see how this doesn't go 7 games. You got Vasilevsky finding his game again.
Cooch is a monster.
Cooch is crazy good. Showed you the ramp pass.
That was insane.
That was just nuts. And he scored on that play.
He's a wizard.
Yeah, he is the wizard. The defensive matchups, I
think Ekblad misses the first 2 games of this series.
Okay, so he misses the first 2. You still give the check mark. You got to give it to Vasilevsky, but I mean, Bobrovsky's no slouch himself. It's just going to be in the trenches, battling, like you said, Kass, every inch. These guys are going to beat each other to an orange pulp. There's going to be a lot of pulp in the Sunshine State from this series.
It's a great orange reference.
Thank you.
Remember, Cass, as you get set to make it. Did you pick a team?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Pick somebody. You laid it out greatly. Right? I don't think you picked the team.
I don't even know. You know what? I'm going to go Tampa. I'm gonna go Tampa just because.
Yes, Puljujärvi's out.
Right, and that they've played a lot of hockey.
Kass, where are you going on this one?
Yeah, this is a tough one. This is a tough one because my heart wants to pick Florida, I think, but my head says Tampa. And my head says Tampa, and I'm going to ride on primarily the very last thing that Gager just said, is to go back to back to back deep runs in the playoffs, really deep runs, is hard. It's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if they have the steam to do it. So this is a tough one for me. I think I got to go Tampa in 6. But I wouldn't be shocked if Florida can't pull it off. It's still possible. Like this is a tough one to call. But yeah, I'm gonna go Tampa in 6.
Do we know the health of Matthew Tkachuk? Is he just?
I mean, I'm assuming they've just been hiding him.
Yeah.
Brad Marchand factors in here somewhere too in this one.
No. The rat in the rat building.
I love this one from Gordon over on the on the nasty chat on the YouTube channel. Tampa, Florida will be a smash-up derby just like last year. They might as well not even bother throwing a puck out on the ice in the first period. Just no puck on the ice. The guys just skating around, clanging and banging.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm taking Tampa in 5.
Ooh.
I don't know. Like, I know Florida wanted to reload here and take another run at it, but if Tampa can get up early in this series, after everything Florida has been through in the last few years, would you blame them for being like, man, we just don't got it in us to pull this out this year? You know what I mean? Like, and I think Tampa's going to win the Stanley Cup. I think Tampa's going to win the entire thing. So,
really?
Yeah, I do. They're my Stanley Cup pick. I think Tampa.
Wow.
I think Tampa's going to win it all.
Whoa.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's a hot take.
I dropped it. I just dropped it. I think Tampa's going to win the Stanley. We'll get our Stanley Cup predictions here. I think Tampa's going to win the Stanley Cup. I think they're going to get by the Florida Panthers in 5. Could end up being an awful take. But I like what Tampa's got going on there right now, man. Vasilevsky is full-blown Vasilevsky again. And
yeah,
I think that's going to be tough. Florida's not going to have Ekblad. I know they've got other pieces there to start. But last year it was, man, we were so close. We didn't win the Stanley Cup. We're going to grind and go get it. Now they've been through it all for 2 straight years. If they get down early, are they going to be able to be like, damn it, guys, let's go dig ourselves out of this? I just don't know if natural instinct to be like, we can go through this for a third straight year with Tampa's also an amazing team. So I think Tampa, and I'm going to say Tampa. I also love Tampa's pickups at the deadline. Remember this? They're like, hey, move first. Bjorkstrand in. Brought back Yanni Gord. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I just have a feeling that Tampa takes care of business here this year sooner than we think. And then Carolina, New Jersey, yada, Canes in 5. Kass, anything else on that? Did he freeze again?
Oh, he's thinking.
No.
Oh, he's
thinking. I'm thinking. Let me think. Because
you're the first person in the country to think about the Canes and Devils here.
Let me think. I think Carolina in 4.
Yeah. Oh, the sweep. Yeah. Okay. I thought you were thinking
another sweep.
Maybe going the other way.
No, no. Okay. I don't think. Carolina. I think here. Yeah, I just doubt New Jersey's ability to compete in this series.
Okay, I already kind of spoiled my pick. I am picking the Tampa Bay Lightning to win the Stanley Cup this year. Gager, who are you going with?
I do think it's gonna be out of the West. I have to go.
You're going with one of these Western juggernauts, eh?
Yeah, I think the Avs are gonna go get another cup here.
That would suck. Kass, who are you going with?
I think the Jorts get it.
Ooh.
Yep, the Winnipeg Jorts.
You actually think they get it done, eh?
I think they get it done, guys. Like, and this is my thought. I mean, they best team in the league all year. They have the goaltending that can steal them games, steal them series. They can win a cup. They have a deep and skilled defensive group, and they have a deep and skilled offensive group that has been putting up points this year. They didn't make major changes from last year. They kept a large portion, pretty much everybody. They kept it together. They made little tweaks. They said, we still really like what we have. You have a group that's going to be hungry, that I think feels that they are disrespected. I think they feel that even though they were the best team in the NHL, they're not getting the love they deserve heading into the playoffs. And I think they come out in an absolute mission. I think Winnipeg comes out, and I think a Canadian team wins a Stanley Cup. And I think
all right.
I got time for
How far do the others go?
To game 6.
Oh, yeah, you picked the Kings. Yeah. I think the Oilers are going to a conference final. If they don't get to the conference final, I'll be pretty disappointed. So I'm going to say conference final. And then, you know what? It sounds very homerish, but if you tell me the Oilers have been good enough to beat the Kings and Knights, they can't beat one of Colorado or Winnipeg or Dallas like that. I'm not writing off a return to the Cup final. It would suck, as somebody did say in the chat, like, can you imagine the Oilers getting the Stanley Cup final and the final boss is Andre Vasilevsky in a good year?
Oh, no.
Suck.
Oh, God.
That would be a tough one for sure. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. All right, so we've got Colorado, Tampa, and the Winnipeg Jets, the pick on that front. So if we're going Conn Smythe, you would take Makar or McKinnon?
Ooh. I'm going to go with Makar. Conn Smythe.
I think I'll go. Would it be Vasilevsky or Kucherov?
That'd be tight. Goalies usually win that.
I'll go Vasilevsky. And if Winnipeg wins it, Hellebuck, obviously.
Hellebuck.
Yeah. All right, what's coming up on EST afternoons here, boys? What do you guys got?
We got lots of guys.
Outside of Gager wearing this amazing shirt. Drew Mindell. Oh, set up the Jets to talk Avalanche as well.
Yeah.
Right here. Okay, there you go. We'll turn on your mic then, Zach.
And Red Light District.
To the punch.
Red Light District too.
Yeah.
All right, so you're previewing Colorado, you're previewing Winnipeg, Red Light District.
So Kass's team and my team.
Did you just dress like this to come here today, or do you have something else going on after?
No,
God, I just can't get over it. You look so sharp right now. I feel like Stoff sitting next to you in a looser set of clothes. Like, this is unbelievable.
That's why he hates me.
All right, that's going to do it for Two Guys A Goalie today. Brought to you by GS Construction. The Sandman is hiring. They're always hiring. If you're looking for a job, GS Construction will hire you now, unless you're, you got it. They want good people to come work with them and take their career to another level. GS Construction hiring now. Become a part of their great team today by visiting gsconstruction.ca or their page on indeed.ca. For the past 50 years, the foundation of GS has been built on efficiency, quality, and safety. Take your career to the next level. Join the team at GS Construction. Enjoy the beginning of the playoffs. We will not have shows on Friday, but we're full go on Monday, getting ready for game 1 of the Oilers and the Kings. Kass, you have a good weekend, buddy. Gager, you have a good show with Maddie, and I'll talk to everybody on Monday. Take it easy.